There's two over there, Brian. We made him.
And then there's two more, sure, there's two more rolling chairs that are like that still. There's two rolling chairs over there.
Oh, we got two right there too.
Oh, yeah, that's true too.
I think we're gonna.
Good evening. Good evening. I'm going to call to order this meeting of High Point Academy's board, Monday, April 27th at 6:02. And we are going to start with the pledge of allegiance. We are going to move on to the reading of our mission and vision statements.
High Point Academy's mission is cultivating lifelong learners in a student-centered environment. The vision statement is to be an exemplary school of choice for academically minded families.
I am going to do the 3 R's. So the 3 R's, we practice the 3 R's. Right. The right to a quality education, the right to a safe environment, and the right to reach my potential. Respect. I will respect my classmates. I will respect my teachers. I will respect myself. Responsibility. I'm responsible for my education. I'm responsible for my actions. I'm responsible for my opportunities. And then our invocation.
May we bow our heads, please? Heavenly Father, we come to you today asking for your guidance, wisdom, and support as we begin this meeting. Help us engage in meaningful discussion that allow us to grow closer as a group and nurture the bonds of our community. In this name we pray, amen.
Amen.
And moving on to the approval of the
Yes, I would like to request we amend the agenda to include the first reading of the 26-27 budget to public session, or executive session.
I'll second. All right, moving on to our Grizzly Spotlight.
All right, Ms. Buster, you're up.
That is not the next slide. Why is that Marcus? There we go. Okay.
All right, we have several kids to celebrate tonight that we are very proud of. They have been selected during Youth Art Month to have their artwork on display at Chapman Cultural Center. So we are very proud of first grader Daniel Ire. Second grader Alice Brown. Come on. Third grader Elise Diaz. Fourth grader Shayla Mott. elementary students in Spartanburg County who were selected as the Terrific Kid of the Year for their schools. She was honored at a lunch and got to go up and get a plaque and a t-shirt and all kinds of things. But I want you to hear what her teacher had to say as to why she is our Terrific Kid of the Year. As a former student and current teacher, I've known and seen how easy it seems to be the kid who gets recognized for standing out. One-time accomplishments usually gain much of the applause and attention. Rarely is there a spotlight shown on the student who quietly and consistently gets it done. The thoughtful kid who makes sure every classmate gets a Christmas and Valentine's gift. The enthusiastic kid who is super excited to tell about their new character socks and keychain plushies. The respectful kid who uses manners like it's second nature. The responsible kid who always turns their work in on time. The inclusive kid who has their own friend group but never hesitates to include others. The friendly kid whose words may be few but smiles are always plenty. The inquisitive kid who has enough, guess what, did you know, to keep an old teacher on her toes. The capable kid whose work ethic has never been questioned. This student would never seek attention or even dare to be found in a spotlight, but that just makes her all the more terrific. She has been a part of my classroom family for 2 years, and she has been my heart of gold student both years. Some students will be remembered for the amazing things they have done, but I never want to forget to cherish the ones with outstanding character, quiet strength, and model classroom presence. Indy, thank you for being consistently terrific.
So we piggyback, I think you're gonna see that across all 3 schools. We had a huge presence at Chapman Cultural Center, where our artwork was on display. So I actually had the opportunity to recognize 2 groups of students. My first group of students are the ones here that have their work on display at Chapman. The first one is Cassius Thompson. Come here, baby. I was like, I thought I saw him. I'll just say, if you want to stay up here, you can. Stay right here with me, okay? Amelia Hagan. Isabella Bailey.
It's good.
Yeah, I was like, I think I've seen these people. And then I start questioning whether or not I saw you at school today. You can stay up here too. Stay up here. You're not gonna get away. Alexander Kovalenko. Oh, right. Cassidy Palmer. Amy Oliver. And it's hard for me not to say your full name, because you know that's how Miss Ayers and I refer to you. She's Lenny Grace. Lenny Grace Oliver. Stay up here. At Mayana King. And Ashley Grace Rose. And we just call her AC. So Dad, you have to All right. So these kiddos were the ones that were recognized for our middle school spotlight. You can go back to your seats. The students that I want to recognize are very near and dear to my heart. We have had the opportunity to do a lot of things in the community. That was their artwork. Yes, that was the artwork that was on display for middle school. So the next group of students that we're going to recognize, a lot of our area school districts do a group that's called Call Me Mister. We do My Brother's Keeper. And the one great thing about it is that it's a mentor program, and they can explain it a whole lot better than I can. But I want to explain some things that we have gained from having them in our group, in our school. One of the things that Mr. Manigo has taught me is that every crime doesn't always necessarily have to have a punishment. That we need to look at the student and the individual thing that's going on with it. And so restorative justice has been a huge thing in our school, and something that middle school has really tried to make a huge focus on when it comes to our disciplinary practices. With MBK, they have taught me a lot about that I have been able to use across our school, not just with the students that are involved in MBK. And I'm gonna tell you really quickly too, that if I ever have any kind of just little bit of a problem with any of these kiddos that are active in this program, all I have to do is give Mr. Manigo and he is on it. And usually he's on it before I'm on it. So there's some things that I want them to be able to tell you, but this year, we were awarded, where is Mr. Tate? Where is he? Come on this way. So I'm gonna call him up first. So Antoine Tate, you did your bio a whole lot easier than I did.
Okay.
However, he is like the big daddy when it comes to MBK and Spencer. And so we rely on him pretty heavily. I had the opportunity to go to their awards ceremony, so I got to listen to him speak and talk about all the things that MBK does in our community. And so I'm excited to hear him tonight. And then he has a big award that he is gonna actually present to our MBK organization.
All right, I'll be very brief. Good evening, everyone. I'm Antoine Tate, CEO and founder of My Brother's Keeper Alliance of South Carolina. And what we are is a community-based organization. We're part of a national framework which creates opportunity for young people from all backgrounds, from all walks of life, specifically young men. And our goal is to ensure that we are closing the opportunity gaps and improving achievement gaps for young men, especially young men in the South. So we've been at this work for about 11 years. We're fortunate to be one of the, I guess you could say, best practice communities in this space, in this work. Our work is recognized nationally as well as internationally for the work that we do. Most importantly, for the awesome young people that we serve. We serve pretty much all 7 school districts here in Spartanburg County, as well as just about every charter school as well, and homeschool associations. So we're very, very, very active and engaged with young people, schools, and partners here in our area. You see what I have here, everybody likes trophies, right? Everybody likes plaques and awards and things of that nature. But the thing about a trophy is, if it's at your home, you can't really talk about it, right? So there's no story like being on a bus, on a charter bus, on a trip, or being in an airport or what have you, walking through an airport with young people, and they're walking around with this thing here, and people are asking them, well, what is that? And what does those words mean? And these are some of our core values that are in Swahili that talks about our Abundant IA, our curriculum that we utilize in talking about My Brother's Keeper, and what these young men have been going through. So for the last few years, we've been fortunate to have a partnership with High Point Academy through the leadership of Mr. Manigo. And every year at our induction ceremony, annual induction ceremony, we present a Club of the Year. It's a very rigorous process, or what have you. And we were fortunate to announce that Totally Committed were the recipients of our Club Champion of the Year award. And what that represents is this belt stays in their possession. So any functions, anywhere they go, they have to take this as a representation of MBK. And as far as that club. So very brief, I'm gonna put them on the spot. So young man, can someone tell me what's Taha?
Respect.
Umoja? Ujima? Kupenda? And Madaraka? Responsibility. So as you can see, and I don't say this lightly, I can say this as a person that have the opportunity to work with young people all over Spartanburg County. I can say that here at High Point Academy, y'all are the best of the best, and you should be very, very proud of these young people, these young men, for their hard work, for their dedication, for their commitment to community service, for their commitment in making each other better, and also their respective communities. So can we give them a hand?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Mark Manigo, and I have the pleasure of working with these wonderful young men on a daily basis. And we are so proud. We've worked really, 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 really hard. They're a very competitive group of guys. So we're just going to share some things with you. We had a little reception for the parents, and we had some flowers we want to give out to the ladies before we leave. But we're going to have our student leader, Shaheen Briggs, step forward. And we're just going to share two things with you. We're going to share our pledge and TC.
TC!
Totally committed.
TC!
Totally committed.
MBK!
My brother's keeper.
Pledge!
I understand that I'm not perfect, but I'm wonderfully created, and I'm here for a purpose. And to that end, I promise to be proactive in my educational pursuits. I promise to speak life and not death to my brothers. I promise to use all resources available to solve conflict and line by the way. As I rise, my brothers rise with me. Therefore, now understanding, knowledge is power. I promise to know where I am, or who I'm with, to conduct myself in a way that reflects respect for all, and the compassion for those less fortunate. Moreover, I want my head held high, protect myself, my school, my family, but most of all my brothers. For I am my brother's keeper.
One of the things that they did that we charged them to do is to write something that reflects and embodies the spirit of their particular organization. In MBK, each school, each group has their own name. So when we started here 5 years ago, the brothers got together and they decided to call themselves Totally Committed. So last year, they were impressed upon to write something about Totally Committed that embodies the spirit of their club. And now they're going to do that for you.
TC!
Totally committed.
TC!
Totally committed.
MBK!
My brother's keeper.
I am
Totally committed to the awareness and importance of self. I am totally committed to the education of myself and my brothers. I am totally committed to know my history, which displays my present and guides my future. I am totally committed to the cause of human rights and respect. I am totally committed to amplifying, elevating, and celebrating my brothers. Kumate Valio, with my brothers I'm strong.
Thank you, guys. And so, one of the things that's so important about that saying is because that is based on the principles that we learned at High Point. Totally based on that, and they wrote that themselves. They hashed it out, they put it together, worded it, reworded it, and wrote it again. Now I'm so proud. Let's give them another hand. That's a good thing. We have some roses. I'm gonna give these to these three guys. Y'all can just pass out. Just make sure the ladies come up and open their cheeks here. And then somebody else. Thank you guys.
Mr. Manager, thank you for your commitment and your work to this program, and Mr. Tate as well for.
Thank you. You're gonna see bigger and better things, so look forward to seeing that.
Now that you see why I couldn't do it justice.
Oh, they did? I was trying to make sure that we all look at it.
Okay, I'm supposed to follow that now. The high school also has some students who were recognized for their art being displayed at Chapel Cultural Center. I know some of them have, a lot of them had extra curricular activities that they were involved in this afternoon, so I still want to call their names out. Coraline of Apian. Emily Boobin. Elliot Jones. Victoria Knox. Emil Lopez Perez. Next, I would like to recognize Jaden Ritchie. If Jaden would come join me. So, the Austin Classical Guitar is a premier nonprofit organization based in Austin, Texas, dedicated to community, education, and artistic performance.
Jaden Ritchie requested permission from Alston Classical Guitar to arrange a solo version of Dr. Travis Markham's ensemble piece entitled Boy Under the Moon Bridge. Dr. Markham, who is the Director of Education at Alston Classical Guitar, agreed to it and has published the song with her name on it. Eventually it will be available worldwide for others to play.
We absolutely love having all of you here. We congratulate all of you. Some wonderful things to be celebrated tonight. If you would like to eat dinner with your family, you are welcome to go leave at this time. If you would like to stay and join us for the rest of our board meeting, you are also welcome to stay.
For MBK, there's a reception out in the hallway. We've been working on it. Oh, thanks. You're awful kind.
Alright, moving on to the March 23rd meeting minutes. We need a motion to approve those minutes that were in your board packet.
So moved.
All in favor? Aye. Moving on to our March financial report, and we'll be doing our first read of our budget for 2016.
That was easy.
Thank you, sweet mom.
Thank
Thank you very much.
Yes, I know. Jonathan, you ready? What do you need to do, Greg?
James has a tendency to get on my Chromebook in the morning, so that'll run his battery down. And then he turns the volume down. I think we hear you.
Or is that, oh. I hear something.
Say something,
Can you
John.
guys hear me?
Very well.
Fantastic. I'm not the loudest individual, so I appreciate your grace. But if you guys are ready, I'll jump into it.
Yep, we're ready.
Talk a little bit about our March financials. Starting out, in March, 1.63 million in top line revenue, majority of which is the state aid to classroom funding. And we sat at about 1.5 million in expenditures, which put us at a net surplus for the month at $128,000. So now looking back at our cash and cash equivalents, we're looking at 5.4 million, and you might be asking yourself, that looks a little bit lower than the end of February, and you'd be correct. The main driver of that is an amount paid to PIBA at the very end of the month, which is just a balance sheet to balance sheet transaction, and that wouldn't reflect in the bottom line net income for the school.
which is why you may see an increase in net income but a decrease in cash. So total cash and cash equivalents at 5.4 million, which is 1.3 in operating cash, just over $250,000 in a money market account, and 3.87 million in the investment account. As far as enrollment goes, as of April 21st, enrollment was 1247, which is 1277 average daily membership at the 135-day count. And I believe, so 45-day count was based on the per weighted pupil unit dollar amount of 4364. I believe we're gonna be around 4350 for the 135-day count. Please correct me if I'm wrong, Gray.
1277 was the 135-day count.
Yes, 1277. Perfect. So, moving on, we are on pace to exceed the 1.25 budgeted debt service coverage ratio. And as I mentioned, cash and cash equivalents, the slight dip from February, which brings our days cash on hand down from roughly 125 down to 118. And so hitting the highlights, $128,000 surplus, year-to-date revenue of 14 million, and expenditures at 12.7 million, which puts us at a $1.3 million surplus year-to-date, and our cash and cash equivalents at 5.4 million. And the funding based on the 45-day count will remain through April. The 135-day count will begin, or the funding based on that count will begin in May, and then June through August as well. And so we're anticipating an end of year debt service coverage ratio between 1.4 and 1.5, based on the trends we see things heading toward. Now, all of that being said, do you guys have any questions for me?
We're good. We're good. We don't have any questions.
All right. Thank you guys very much.
Thanks, Jonathan.
First reading.
Don't
Don't let them
Oh,
leave,
yeah.
just in case there's some questions.
Certainly. Happy to hang out.
Okay, hopefully you guys received the state aid and, budget in your folder. Had a chance to review it. I am happy to present the first reading of the 26-27 school year budget. The majority of this budget was, built by Gray and, Chance and Jonathan and the finance committee and myself. We've reviewed it in detail and we wanted to get it out so we could start getting some feedback on it. So I'm gonna point out a couple of numbers to you. I don't know if you have it in front of you, specifically with the state aid. As of today, we have 1,370 students enrolled for next year. The proposed budget is based on 1,276 students. And the current enrollment stands at approximately today around 1,247. And the 135-day count was 1,277. And you guys all know the budget is built on these assumptions and how important they are. It's worth noting that because we're not charging enrollment fees this year, the 1,370 enrollment could be a little overstated. However, we believe the 1,276 number that the budget's built on is conservative and reasonable. And especially since it's April and those numbers continue to grow usually throughout the summer up until school starts. So Gray has reconciled the per pupil weightings to make sure that we're getting each dollar that we deserve per student. And this is resulting in like a 1.25 rating. And and that's an improvement over last year.
That, Joe, you wanna explain that one? Yeah, you ran out of memory. We are revealing the budget.
It's a scratch off.
That's how we do our budget.
Yeah, that's how we do it.
Well, I mean, I've about got it now.
That's a memory problem.
Gray is clearly used to scratch off tickets.
We may have some funny stories about that. That'll be for later.
I have to search his memory.
Wow, look at me.
There we go. So you will notice that the tech budget was increased.
There's a line item for some new Chromebooks in there. Okay, so where were we? My goodness. After doing the weightings and refreshing those and making sure we are getting all of our funding per student, it averages out to about a 1.25, which is an improvement over last year. So the last budget, we estimated about $4,300 per pupil. This year, we're forecasting $4,450 per pupil. I feel lucky to have Chance's expertise on this, and I think he has pretty close connection with Nick Michaels at the district office, so we feel pretty good about the $4,450 that we're going to receive. Hopefully it's more, but we feel like that's the conservative number. On the revenue side, or if you want to jump over to the budget side, it could take forever, you're right. Okay, we got it. All right, so, on the revenue side, the local revenue, the investment income projections, they're conservative. The rental income has been updated to reflect the current contracts. The federal funds that are included, they are in there to cover salaries.
Are we expected to receive Title I next year?
Yes. Tracy Sweet gave me her very political answer of, I cannot guarantee it, but yes, they're not changing the way they distribute them.
On the expense side, the payroll and benefits number is reflected on the contracts that have already been issued for next year. There are also a few placeholder positions tied to projected enrollment. And payroll represents about 67% of the total revenue, which is somewhat higher than other charter schools based on our state retirement system. Departmental expenses are largely consistent from last year. There's some increases in technology due to rising subscription costs. The arts department has seen a little bit of an increase, and we did include the $77,000 in Chromebook purchases that we'll be able to capitalize against the debt service ratio. We've updated debt service payments that are expected for next year. And the last thing I really want to emphasize is with payroll at 67% and the debt service ratio at about 10%, the primary variables in this budget are the enrollment and the confirmation of the per pupil amount. We will continue to monitor these really closely until the second reading of the budget. Greg, do we know when we'll find out about the per pupil amount, when they'll vote on that?
No.
The Senate voted, but now it goes back to the a conference committee, so I have no idea how long that would take.
And at the bottom, projecting all of that, and then adding back our capital expenditures that are pretty conservative, we're estimating a debt service ratio of 1.2. If you don't have any questions, Greg could probably answer them for you. Jonathan?
Good, I'm happy with the 1.2, with us being this conservative with our budget.
so we're building the budget at, 1,276 students. So that means day one, we'll need to start out, what, 13,
50 or
20?
13, 20, 13, 30 to be safe, but I think.
Well,
I
we
think
got
we'll
3
start
months to
at
go, and we're 1370. We're now creating wait lists. We have a couple grades where we can add, but we're creating wait lists now. So we can serve up to 1,400. After that, we're gonna have to get a little creative.
Be a great problem.
Yeah. And
That's
then,
the kind of problem you want.
and then we have some placeholders for salaries to grow into that number as well, right?
Thank you very much. We have a spring election update, I think just,
Jonathan's still on.
you still on? I think.
Ask Jonathan if he has anything to add or.
Jonathan, you got anything for us?
Nothing right now, but as always, if you guys have any questions on the financials or, anything budget related, please feel free to send me an email.
Appreciate it.
Thank you guys. Have a great night.
Yeah, thanks, Jonathan. Moving forward, applications closed today, is that right, Katie? Yep, so just an update on that. And then moving on to school business, superintendent's report.
Well, just be careful. If this information gets out to the public, it can change the way every man, woman, and child lives in America. Our quote for the day. We do what we do because the people behind us. Enrollment update. Current enrollment for next year, returning students, in March it was 1047, today it's 1132. Fully registered lottery students, in March it was 163. Today it's 344 for a total of 1370. Joe, we've had some new applications even today, haven't we? So we still have people applying. Our numbers are good. Not registered returning students, we're down to 38. We have thrown people out of registration. If they tell us they're not coming back, we just get rid of them or they sign up. So we're down to 38 returning students. Total possible that haven't registered is 106 with 68 who've applied. If half of those come, we could start easily at 1423. So that's I think our budget is pretty conservative. I think our numbers are pretty conservative. I feel really good about it, and I feel like we're in new territory for High Point Academy. Who would ever thought we'd get to 1,400? So that's good stuff. Any questions about enrollment? All right, moving along. Teacher Appreciation Week is next week. On Thursday, the board is doing a breakfast for the staff. I think Tuesday morning, PTO is doing a breakfast for the staff, and then Friday, PTO is doing a lunch for the staff. So they'll have to go 2 days without eating. I don't know if they'll make it, but we'll figure it out. Next Thursday night, HPA night at the Spartanburgers. Get your tickets while you can. Our chorus will be singing the national anthem. Are you singing anything else or just the national anthem?
Unless they want us to, we'll give them a concert.
We're singing the national anthem at the Spartanburgers game. If you can come, please do. If you go, there's a lot of city officials and people who are really big to this. So last time I was there, I met several people. So I think on HPA night, it would be good for the board, as many people as possible from HPA to be there to talk to people. Graduation is May the 21st. You have a graduation packet in front of you. It has your tickets, your parking pass, and a letter that was written for you. Mr. Neely will be here. He is the superintendent of Spartanburg Charter School District, Public Charter School District. Our last day of school is May the 29th. It is a half a day, and I hope we make it. And Miss Sandy, I think you're next.
Definitely me, I tell you. We're doing really, really well. Elementary, well, the position may be filled because the job was open, it was offered. The position was offered, so we're just waiting back for an answer. Middle school, project lead the way teacher. That is still out there. Ms. Goodwin has accept applications and she is ready to interview for that position. High school, we need 3 teachers, computer science, science, and English. And interviews are already being held. They are being held all this week for all 3 positions. So we're excited about that. Mr. Hamrick feels really good about the candidates that he's interviewing. So no worries there. And of course, contracts are due May 10th. I have all the contracts back except for, I think, 3 now. 4? It's 3 now because I did get another one back today. So we're looking up. Things are great at HBA. Thank you.
Let me commend the board. I think giving the contracts early with some salary raises really convinced people to sign their contracts early.
I have not received one complaint, Mr. Sherman.
Well, they shouldn't be.
That's the first. That is the first. So thank you guys so much.
Thank you,
Mr.
board,
Sherman.
for doing that for us and helping us solidify those positions to make sure people want to come back. Anything else?
No, sir.
Thank you, Sandy.
Thank you.
Ms. Buster, the floor is yours.
I'm just gonna share a little bit about MAP, what we have been doing in elementary. We did take spring MAP, so my team decided to look at things a little bit differently and do some comparisons so that if this MAP, current MAP test was SC ready, this is where we would have ended up. One thing that we did notice, we are addressing with quite a few kids in the approaches, but we have more, it exceeds in some areas at this point than we have before. So we're very encouraged about that. Then we decided to take it a little step further. Well, I'll also show you. This was our kindergarten through 2nd graders. They are measured based on, are they at grade, on or above grade level, or below grade level. So those are our percentages right there, and that helps us plan for next year, you know, what has worked, what hasn't worked, what do we need to readdress, and areas that we need to focus in on. Then we took our scores overall, and we broke them down and looked by student. Ms. Finley, our elementary counselor, is very good at data. So one thing that she did was she has taken all of these. So I hid a column on here, so it might not look as nice on here, but I didn't want you to see all of these. All the names were on here, and this is broken down by class and by teacher, so we can kind of see. So what we've done is we've compared MAP scores all year long to see who has grown and who has, you know, kind of stayed the same. Blue is the 80th and above percentile, and the green is right below that, and yellow is right about 50% or above. So we want anything in the middle of yellow all the way through blue. That's what we're aiming for. So you can see this first class here did very well. This is reading on the left, math on the right, same teacher, same students. So we were very pleased with this class to see very little red or orange. And then as we go down by each class, that's what we've looked at for each grade level. So we're kind of able to see who's stayed the same, who's changed. One thing this will help us, I'm gonna switch to a different. Help us with like 3rd grade, we can see which children would be caught by the Read to Succeed law, but they have, if a GCE, that student has a good cause exemption, so they would not be required to be retained. But the students with R2S, they will be invited to summer school and summer reading camp, possibly depending on how they do on SC Ready. If they are scores in the do not meet category, they will be required to come to summer reading camp and possibly be retained. So one thing that we are doing is using this data to plan ahead for next year. So we've pulled out those students that you can see they've struggled all year. Yes, 154 to 185 is huge growth, but they're still not where we need to be. So we need to take a look at which student is that. Have they been here? We've had about half and half. About half of these students are brand new students to High Point. So we can see that we have some that come in and they're not quite where we would have them be. So we see who has made growth, just not where we want it to be. Who has not made it out of the very bottom percentile. These are kids that we need to kind of take a closer look. What else is going on with their learning? And then do we have any kids who, for whatever reason, have regressed? And we need to look at them as well. So that's one thing that we have been doing with all of our grade levels and making a plan for those students to help with intervention, inviting them this summer, and deciding which classes would be the best for them for next year. And then we also broke everything down just by the grade levels. For example, and then figuring out our percentages, exactly ranking them, where are they within the grade level based on their RIT scores. So that is what elementary team has been busy working on and preparing for testing. We also started today, my leadership team has met with, I think we have 3 classes left. We have done individual conferences with 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders. Just a one-on-one sit down, let me look at you, let me tell you how hard you've been working this year. I'm proud of you. Here's what you made last year on SC Ready. Here's where, if we took this math test, if this was SC Ready, how would you have done? And then, like, just continue to try your best. So that's something that we are trying this year, is just an individual conference.
And I think this is huge. When we talk about the test scores when we get them back, but this is what we do all year, trying to get the kids. MAP test does something that South Carolina already doesn't. MAP test, we're not only give you a score, but it'll share the weaknesses. So the teacher can take that MAP score and find out where the kid is weak, what the kid needs, so we can work with that kid on that particular thing. As you can see, when you start playing with 500 or 600 kids, it's all over the place. And so, trying to break it down into something we can manage, which kids need the most help, which kids are not doing well, which kids are regressing, which kids have really had great growth, which kids are doing great, all across the board. So this is what we do all year long, is they look at this data and they go back and forth with it and try to decide what the best thing to do with every kid is. So you all just see the South Carolina Ready scores, but all during the school year, getting ready for the South Carolina, we're analyzing, we're looking, we're seeing growth, we're trying to figure out where kids are, what we need to do to help them. This week, we've been working with those bubble kids a lot. Those kids who, are gonna be right on the line of going to the next level. So we put a lot of work and effort into getting them to the next level. So this is what we do on a daily, weekly basis with students in the school with our MAP scores.
So we did share this with the teachers too, so you can kind of see who are those kids that were 1 point away from the next level. What have we been doing all along to get them where they need to be?
Ms. Lester?
Yes.
This screen right here,
Mhm.
the on and above, this is based on like the spring map.
Mhm.
So
It
this is what we can kind of gauge is probably gonna show up on SC Ready.
For this one, yes.
Okay.
The other's kindergarten.
There is a
Oh,
very
gotcha.
good correlation.
Yes.
And we're actually looking at that for a presentation that we're about to do this week too. How close were we last year with correlations?
Yeah.
But as of right now, if math had been SC Ready, these are the cut scores that give us for math, where your RIT scores would fall in each category.
Right. And math is the new curriculum this year, right? And that was for elementary
Eureka
also?
Math Squared, yes.
Because it looked like your math scores were really good.
They are, especially when you get down here to
Yeah.
kindergarten and first and second, yes, math is very good. So
Hope that
we're
means
like,
you're doing
wait a
a good
minute.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I think that goes to show too, all, like what you guys were talking about last month, like how much that you guys are investing in the teachers to learn and understand the curriculum. You're seeing the results of that here.
We are. This is also helpful for first and second grade. The law is in effect this year that if first graders do not make the cut score, so there are, I think there were 22 for sure that we had to invite to summer reading based on the law, and then there was another 20 something that we could invite. They're recommended, and so the teachers have chosen those. So we're inviting a total number of 98 students. Next year, the law goes into effect for second grade as well. So any first grader or second grader that does not make this RIT score in spring has to be invited to summer reading. So we're busy planning for that too.
It's good to see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're encouraged. I mean, we have room to work and room to grow, but overall, we're pleased. It matches what performance the teachers have seen in the classrooms.
Yeah.
And so they were encouraged by that too. Everybody was able to, there weren't any big surprises. If we, sat in a meeting and I would ask about a student, they knew, they weren't surprised at how the kids performed.
And I do wanna say, from state to state, it varies. The state of South Carolina has some of the most rigorous test scores around. So if we are 50 or 60% in South Carolina, we were probably 75 or 80 in most of the states around us. So we have a very rigorous testing system, probably the most rigorous in the Southeast. And so people look at it and go, you're not doing well. Well, it's not apples to apples because we're taking different tests and we're forced to take harder tests and our kids are forced to know them. So when people start talking scores, if you're not taking the same test, it's not an accurate comparison. And as I told you, this was riveting information, and I got one more thing to go. Mr. McAbee.
Hello. Every 2 years I show up. It's time for us to do another out-of-state trip with our arts ensembles. Now instead of one group, we've got 3 to showcase on stages around the country. This time we're going to try to go to Universal Studios. They do a similar arts festival competition like Disney does. We went to Festival Disney a couple years ago. So this time we would take the Honors Concert Choir, which is our top group. The newly formed Honors Women's Choir, we're taking them to Dollywood at the end of this week for their first adjudicated performance. And I have high hopes. They sound really great. Plowers heard them. They sound better than some of the honor choir in some spots. Because they all want to be there. They all want to work hard. And then we're also going to take our high school concert band. They are at a level where they need to be out in the community, getting some of this feedback and getting in front of all these judges from around the country. So we're up and up with arts here at HPA. The dates for the trip would be March 31st through April 4th. That backs it up to spring break like we've done previously. We would have, if you want to go to that next slide, I think the next one is yes, so the cost of the trip. If they do 4 in a room, it's $11.99 per person, triple, double, single for those prices. That's based on what the parents and the students are most comfortable with. Most of them end up doing quads. We usually only see triples or doubles if it's like a mom and their kid that they want a room together. Or a mom and 2, because we've got a couple siblings between band and the chorus ensembles. That's the payment schedule. It wouldn't start till August 28th, and then it's a little bit each month until that final balance of $299 or whatever the leftover would be based on their roomie selection would be due on January 29th. We're going to be doing some fundraisers to help with that. We'll probably sell chocolate again because it's always a hit. It helped out a lot with Dollywood. We've got a little bit left over, so what we have left over from Dollywood that we have not sold yet, we'll just roll over and sell for Universal next year. And then the actual trip itself, if you'll go to that next one. Very similar to Disney. The only difference is we're at Universal now. So we did Marvel, we did Disney. Now we're going to go do Harry Potter and DC and all of those. Same deal. It's a concert performance assessment. This time, all 3 groups will be performing as part of a competition. So there will be placements and rankings with that. It'll again be similar situation with the judges. It'll be college professors, collegiate choral directors from all over the country. Usually Florida State's there, Miami, University of Florida. Auburn's been there before. Furman University's adjudicated us before. It's all your big music schools. It's their professors that show up to judge, give feedback, and a lot of times they'll work with the students because they have a 20-minute time frame. Usually our music takes about 10 minutes, and they'll actually give them some feedback and work with them live on stage. The cost of the trip covers the coach, the hotel stay. We're staying at an off-campus or off-site hotel this time, just so breakfast is included, so that makes it a little bit easier on the kids. And then we'll do a night at Disney Springs. We'll leave that Wednesday morning. They'll do Disney Springs that evening for shopping and dinner, and then we'll have a ticket to each of the parks for Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And our performance day would be Saturday. Performances take place between 8 a.m. and 2 p.m., and then the rest of that day would be in one of the parks, and then we come back on Sunday. So that is the trip. If you have any questions, let me know. If you want to see their performance from Festival of Disney, I put it on the end from 4 years ago, our first big out-of-state performance. So Katie can share that with you if you want to listen to it. But if you have any questions, let me know. And please approve our trip.
The accommodations and what, did you work with a group to coordinate that, or did you do all the planning?
For the big ones, I'm gonna do a travel company because it's a headache. Dollywood has about killed me this year.
Yeah.
So we're going Orange Orange Sky again, I've worked with them since I started teaching back in 2014. I've got a good relationship with them. They always work with us on everything.
That's good.
So, and they're local. It's a local travel company. It's not one of these big box ones. So they're based out of Simpsonville. So if I need something, I can go across the street because they're literally across 385 from where I live.
Good.
By percentage, approximately how much are you able to money through fundraisers to help defray this?
When we went to Disney, we fundraised about half for each of the students. Now, part of that is how much their get up and go is, how much they want to get out and actively try to sell. Some families are more well off than others, and they'll cover it. One of the things that I love about Orange Sky is on their website, they have a specialized link that's individualized for each student that they can share on social media, via email, and people can donate specifically for that student's trip. There's also a generic one that we can share as a school that I'll create that'll go out for just any community members that donate. And like with Disney in New York, we went out, we tried to get business sponsors and everything. I think we got, what did I say earlier today? It was between 4,000 and 5,000 just donated for New York from different organizations and individuals that love what we do here and want to see more of it. So.
I had 2 questions. Between the 3 groups, about how many total students?
If all of them go, it should be around 110 students, plus whatever chaperones go. So I planned for 2 buses, but if enough parents want to come, probably 3 buses. So.
And with it being right before spring break, is there a plan or an option if my student is down there and I want to come on down Sunday and just get him from you all?
Sign that release and they are yours.
And we can say the rest of it in spring break.
Yep.
So you have a plan?
Yeah, we had 2 that did that when we went to Disney 4 years ago.
But you have to show up, it has to be the parent, it can't be some friend or somebody.
Aunt, twice removed or whatever.
Yeah, we have some that are doing that with our Dollywood trip.
We will release to the parent only.
Because that's a good plan. Go ahead and get the kid down there.
Yeah, because a lot of the kids, they go to Florida just about every year, so it works out great for them.
Yeah, that's great.
If money's an issue with a kid, we will do everything we can to help that kid. And if we get scholarship money, the kids that have the biggest needs will be the first ones.
And I will say, one of my former college professors, she always donates the full cost of a trip, every big trip that we take, specifically for those situations, so. And that's just one of multiple that have done that over the years.
Didn't the rest time we play, have they donated some money too?
Yeah, Trilon's donated quite a bit. They donated a good little bit for New York, I believe. I don't know the exact number though.
And that's one of the reasons we go to concerts for them and other things, because they give back to us so much.
Which we owe them an extra concert next year.
Thank you so much.
Thank y'all, I appreciate it.
South Carolina, under the direction of Chase McAbee, the High Point Academy Honors Concert Choir.
Are we discussing this tonight?
I will move to approve the chorus theater field trip.
Chorus and
for-
band. It's supposed to be band.
Chorus and band field trip for
Second.
April,
March 31st. Through April 4th.
March 2026.
Next school year.
Second.
All in favor?
I will reserve our spots tonight. Thank y'all so much.
And we have already discussed that the board is doing breakfast for the teachers May 7th. We are moving on to public comments.
Yes. There's. We have 2 requests for public comments, Julie and James Conlon. One is regarding the book fair.
Going to the book fair for a couple of years, I wasn't super impressed by the titles, but I know it's a cultural thing for the kids, the kind of things that they're interested in. But I received some information about a book fair from PragerU, and it emphasizes pro-American books that teach character and values. And I know that those 2 things are important here at High Point. But I sent an email to Katie, and I also have one printout. I don't know who is in charge of it, but just something to consider.
soon.
Now, from the other half of the token public. There's a recurring theme that seems to come out with the testing. And what I've noticed is a lot of the test scores, you know, I always make the comment, we had some new students come in and they weren't up to our standard. And so what it tends to do is drag your numbers down. But I realized a lot of those parents are coming for the same reason our grandkids are coming. The education they were getting elsewhere was no good. So it raises the question if you shouldn't evaluate the students who are coming from other schools to see where they are and do something remedial for them before they actually get into, you know, the standard process. Basically catch them up. That's it. That was just an observation. Now I can let it go. Hand it back to you.
Thank you all. We are, can I have a motion to move to executive session?
Motion.
Second. Hearing no ayes.